It's a beautiful day in Ohio, isn't it? Oh well. Here we find ourselves in Piqua, Ohio, taking a look at the Miami Valley Center Mall, or as it's known today, the Piqua Center. Although a lovely late 80s specimen, it is not in a good way these days. Let's discuss the mall as we tour. Developed by The Mall Company, whom was behind the Woodland Mall and the Carnation Mall, Miami Valley Center Mall would host its grand opening on September 7, 1988. Original anchors would include JCPenney, Elder Beerman, and Hills. A connected hotel was also in the plans, and in October, the Comfort Inn would also open. With a food court, movie theater, and dozens of inline tenants, the Miami Valley Center Mall was sure to cover your every need. What you might not know, however, is that the Miami Valley Center Mall was actually a mall killer, leading to the demise of the Piqua East Mall. Around the early 2000s, Piqua East Mall would become little more than a memory as it was redeveloped into Miami Valley Crossing, a big box strip mall across the freeway. Although the owners at the time got sued over failure to make payment for the mall construction, the Miami Valley Center Mall did take off and saw its share of events and shows. And to create a sense of community, the local school bands would be invited to perform in the food court on occasion in the mall's early years. Towards the end of the 90s, Sears would move in on the mall, making way for a small expansion and a brand new store which opened in October 23, 1999. Cementing the Miami Valley Center Mall as the dominant mall in the area. While Miami Valley Center Mall beat out the Piqua East Mall, it was still indirectly competing with many other malls close to it. To the south, you had Richmond's local mall, and Dayton's three malls, Fairfield Commons, the Dayton Mall, and the Salem Mall. Miami Valley Center did outlast the Salem Mall and even attempted to negotiate, albeit unsuccessfully, with Lazarus in 1997 to get their fourth anchor. However, as the pressure increased in the 2000s, would the Miami Valley Center Mall be able to keep up? Hills would get acquired by Ames by the end of the 90s and would last until early 2002 when Ames's poor business decisions and acquisitions came to bite them square in the ass. And this would leave a vacant hole in the mall's anchor roster. Elder Beerman also filed a lawsuit against the owners of the mall, citing that the construction of Sears had violated a lease agreement and adding that they never agreed to the Sears store. They had also attempted to block Sears with legal action, but this was ultimately unsuccessful. The vacant Hills would at least get filled in by Stephen Barry's in October 2004, whom at the time was growing like mad across the US. However, as 2008 came around, Stephen Barry's would start shrinking like mad as their business decisions too came to bite them in the ass. In fact, I'm reading into this, and I know the company went under in 2009, but I found out that they actually went into bankruptcy earlier and were bought out in 2008. If only someone was around to do a case study on Stephen Barry's. The space would continue to sit vacant afterwards, before being filled in by Dunham Sports on March 28, 2015. Meanwhile, the theater would close its doors in 2008 as it moved to an outparcel unit at the edge of the mall lot. While the mall held out throughout the years, it would suddenly take major hits in 2018 as first, Elder Beerman closed its doors for the last time due to its parent company's bankruptcy. Sears would follow suit, closing for good in February 2019, and in 2020, JCPenney would close its doors for the last time due to its own bankruptcy, although JCPenney would come out the other end. Just like that, the mall had only Dunham Sports as an anchor, as well as the hotel. Enter 2023, and the owner of the mall at the time, Kohan Retail Investment Group, would sell the mall off to a partnership venture between Burns Construction based out of Ohio and the Caspian Group based out of Minnesota. They would rename the mall into the Piqua Center and announced big plans to turn it into a mixed-use center. And based on their details, it looks like much of the mall will remain, as they intend to bring in alternative businesses and warehousing. Work had already begun in the Sears and Elder Beerman buildings, and when these plans are complete, we can expect to see axe throwing, pickleball, an arcade, a new gym, hardware store, and a Mexican restaurant in the mall. The food court will be updated with a glass-walled bar, while the movie theater space will be filled in by Hero Day Action Park. Meanwhile, the JCPenney space has been filled in by American Freight, which the owners plan to keep at this time. So while the mall has fallen into a bad way, and we may be seeing the end of the mall, we can at least take comfort in knowing that we're at the start of something new. Yet, maybe it'll still be familiar. I'm not going to talk much about mall security here, as I managed to scrape by without issue. In fact, that was part of why I considered this as my new camera's first real test. But, with all that in mind, I will acknowledge that mall security is rather legendary here, and that's not a compliment. Between mall enthusiasts being treated like criminal scum, can relate, and families with children being kicked out for the smallest of things, overzealous mall security can impact malls in a way most don't even realize. But on the flip side, I do recognize that there are bad actors among mall enthusiasts who can screw it up for the rest of us. But that's a rant for another day. Thanks for having me, Piqua, Ohio, and until next time, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the Piqua Center farewell, and good luck in the future. I'm sure some of you are thinking right now, about damn time this moron covered a dead mall.